What's going on, everybody? It's Murk back here with some more Draft League content, and today I've got my GPC Season 7 Week 5 match against Dom's Game Room, coach of the Richmond Rayquazas. And if you didn't catch my live team builder for this match, I suggest you do, but if you don't have the time for that, I will put the paste bin of my team in the description, and I'll do a quick run over of my team. So first up, we have the win condition, which is a Life Orb, Timid, Rock Polish, 3 attacks, Lando I with Focus Blast, Earth Power, and HP Ice. Next we have a Babiri Berry, Spikes, Taunt, Dual Stab Frostlass, pretty standard Assault Vest Tornadus, a very specially bulky Mega Heracross with 4 attacks, a Modest Choice Scarfed Meloetta with Trick and something else, and Trick and U-Turn with Hyper Voice and Shadow Ball, and a Max Spadef Stunfisk meant to take on hits from the Gengar and the Jolteon and the Jirachi. So, going into this game, I was very fearful of what Dom could bring. I know that Dom is a very unpredictable player. He's a very aggressive player, and he's, well, more importantly, an unpredictable builder, so I was not sure what he was going to bring against me, which made him a lot more threatening, because if I don't know what my opponent's bringing, then it's going to be a lot more difficult to predict them. And one thing I failed to notice in preview is that his Gliscor does not have an item, which if I noticed in preview, I would have known immediately that he was Acrobatics, but I just failed to notice that because I wasn't paying full attention to everything, because it's not something that I normally remember to look at. So that caused me to get caught off a little bit off guard in the game, but essentially what I know about his team, he has 2 Stealth Rockers in Jirachi and Gliscor. He doesn't have any way to get rid of my hazards, and Spikes and Stealth Rocks look very, very good, but especially Spikes since it hits everything minus the Gliscor. Heracross is going to be very important because it's my only way to really kill the Snorlax, so a Curse set or a Belly Drum set can both be very, very threatening. Lando gets a kill pretty much every single time it comes in, as long as I can predict correctly. Meloetta is going to be very important to keep mons like the Gengar and the Medicham in check because it outspeeds it. Same with Tornadus. Tornadus is very nice in the matchup, especially if I can do things like knock off a Snorlax's berry, then it can't recover health, which would be very good. And overall, it's looking like a pretty even matchup out of the gate, so let's just go ahead and start off with it. I was expecting him to counter lead my Mega Heracross, so I was sort of expecting him to go with like a Gliscor or a Medicham lead, so I'm going to lead off with my Frostlass, as he's going to lead with Snorlax, and that's not good for me, but I don't really mind because I do have my Heracross in the back which can revenge this thing, even if he has a Belly Drum set. And if he goes for Curses, I can taunt him right away and then whittle it down. But he's going to go right for the Fire Punch. His damage shows me that he is not an offensive set, and he's going to get disabled off the Fire Punch, as I'm going to switch into my Heracross now, knowing that he can't hit me with a Fire Punch. Now, this play was pretty obvious, and I could have predicted him to pull the double into like Medicham or Gliscor, which would have given me a lot of momentum. However, I was just going to make the safe play right here, even though I probably should have predicted that. So he's going to make the aggressive play and get his Medicham in, which is very bad for me because I don't have good switch-ins to this. And if he predicts right, he gets a kill. I have to go into my Meloetta here because I can knock this thing out with a Shadow Ball from here unless he's really defensive. And I can take a Zen Headbutt relatively well from this thing because I do resist it. So he's going to go ahead and fire off the Zen Headbutt, and he is going to score a crit, which is a little annoying because that means a few fake outs, or after rocks damage and a fake out or bullet punch, he can take me out. So it's not very good. And here I'm kind of forced to go for the Shadow Ball. I really wanted to predict the Snorlax to come in and just click U-turn. However, if I clicked U-turn as he stayed in with Medicham, I'd have to sack off a Mon because he was free to click Zen Headbutt at this point, since this was my only Psychic resist, so I kind of had to stay in and click Shadow Ball, and he takes advantage of that, and he's going to be able to go hard into his Lax. Now, that's not good for me, because now this thing is in for free, as he sees that I go for the Shadow Ball, kind of telling him that I am Scarfed. Well, obviously I'm forced to switch out because I need this thing, and I am going to go hard into my Stunfisk right here, wanting to get my rocks up, as he is going to go for the Fire Punch, more or less predicting my Frostlass, I suppose. He didn't ever want to give Heracross the free switch in, and in the case that he wanted to Impulsum double, predicting Heracross again. He probably wasn't going to go Medicham, and it's possible he'd go into like Jirachi or Jolteon maybe to get momentum or something, but mainly I just want to get my Stealth Rocks up, as he does go for the Belly Drum. Now this is scary. This means I will have to lose a Mon, and I have to decide whether essentially I want to lose my Stunfisk or I want to lose my Frostlass, and I kind of decide that I'm just going to sack off my Stunfisk. I don't need it per se because I still have my Jolteon, which can check this thing in the long run. I'm going to fire off an Earthquake right here. Now that doesn't really do anything at all, and what I'm going to do here is fire off a Pain Split so I can get back to full health, as he is going to go for the Recycle and get his Berry back, which is a little annoying, but basically all I'm trying to do is just get this thing, get a free switch into my Heracross, because no matter what, even if he's max Phys Def, he will die to a close combat from the range that he is at. So he's going to Body Slam and take out my Stunfisk, which is unfortunate, but I'm just going to go into my Heracross right here, and I'm in no position to make a prediction. I'm just going to fire off the close combat, and whatever he does is fine by me. He is going to stay in, and that means I'm going to be able to knock out his Snorlax, which is really good. One of his only ways that he could take a hit from Landorus, so I'm very happy with that. And now he gets the free drop into whatever he wants. He's going to be able to go into the Gliscor, and I'm just going to go into Frostlass, thinking that if he went for the Stealth Rocks right here, I'd be able to get a hit off and potentially get a kill. And if he went for like an Aerial Ace, I should be able to take it since I'm at a relatively high state of health. But he is going to go for the Acrobatics, and this is where I realize, okay, he's no item. If he was holding an item, Acrobatics would not do that much. So now I'm going to drop into my Tornadus, because I do have HP Ice and I can threaten this thing out, and I believe I'm just going to go for the U-turn right here. He's going to go into Medicham, surprisingly enough, which is fine by me because I'm going to be able to get in my Landorus and pick up a kill. So I guess he was sacking off Medicham to the Torn right there because he didn't really want to switch anything else in, but I can go into my Lando, as he is going to show that he has Fake Out and Bullet Punch. So he's going to be able to get some really big damage off on my Lando, meaning that I can't really set up against anything, but getting rid of this Medicham is really, really big, because it's just something that gets a kill against my team, and that priority was really scary for Meloetta. So we're tied at 4 right now, though it does look like he's in a bit of an advantage, but I still think I can pull it out. He's going to go into Jolteon and show that he is Air Balloon. Now, I know that he's going to have HP Ice and not HP Flying, and because of the fact that I have my Lando in, and because it's at a low state of health, it's possible that I could just decide to sack it here. I know for sure that he's going to go for the HP Ice right here. So what I can do to take advantage of that is go right into my Mega Heracross and guarantee a kill, essentially. So I can go into my Heracross, and he is going to fire off the HP Ice. It's not going to do anything. He's not a boosting item, and I have almost max defense, or max special defense on this Heracross. And I'm going to click Bullet Seed right here, predicting the Gliscor to come in. If I click Knockoff, that would have also worked, as he is going to end up going into his Gengar. So if I had Rock Blast instead of Bullet Seed, this Gengar would have dropped, but I'm not going to be able to knock it out. But this Gengar isn't too big of a worry, as you'll see, because he is rocking the Black Sludge. So I'm not going to be able to knock this thing out. Had I gone for the knockoff right there, I would have been able to. But this Gengar is severely weakened to a point where I can just go into my Tornadus and take it out. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go hard into Torn. Knowing that, seeing these Black Sludge, I know he can't knock me out with any one hit. He can't set up a sub from where he's at, and he's just going to fire for Sludge Wave, and it's not going to do very much because I'm an Assault Vest Torn, and I can just fire off a knockoff right here. There's not a whole lot of point for him switching out because he's going to be ticking 24% on entry. So he's not going to have much health left. So I get the kill with Torn, which is good. Now he's going to go into his Jirachi. Now I don't want this thing to do any bullshit, so I'm just going to go right for the knockoff. And the big, in case he was a Choice Scarf set, I pretty much had to hope that I didn't get flinched, because if he flinches down my Torn, then he just wins the game with Jirachi, and I really didn't want that. So I'm forced to go ahead and make the make the knockoff play to get rid of his item, but he shows that he is a bulky set as these lefties, and he's going to fire off the sub right here. Now, the problem is I cannot break this thing's sub, so if he's some sort of sub-wish set, this could be a problem, but I'm just going to go right for the knockoff to get the damage on his sub to the point where I can break it with a U-turn. He goes for the Psychic, and it doesn't do very much, and what I'm going to do is fire off the U-turn so I can go into my Meloetta and take this thing out. I wanted to keep my Torn healthy so that I would have something to take a hit from the Gliscor, and I did figure he'd just go for a Psychic, which my Meloetta could take. He misses a Toxic, which is a little unfortunate, but at this point he doesn't have a Ghost Resist, and Meloetta is going to hit his team pretty hard, so I can take out his Jirachi right there, which is really nice. And he's down to Jolteon and Gliscor, so essentially all I have to do is keep my Heracross healthy to take a hit from the Jolteon, and I have to get rid of this Gliscor. So knowing that I can take two Acrobatics from this Gliscor from here, I can go hard into my Torn, or I know I can take one and then knock it out with an HP Ice, as he is going to go right for the Agility. Now, after seeing Agility, I was kind of worried that he could potentially have Stone Edge. However, I did run a few calcs, and unless he was adamant, he can't even knock me out with Stone Edge if he has it, and it's very likely that if he's running Agility, he's also probably running like Swords Dance, and his last move would likely be Earthquake so that he'd have his dual stab. So kind of postulated he wouldn't have Stone Edge since Acrobatics would hit me anyways, so because of that I'm just going to stay in and not risk him setting up a Swords Dance, as he does go for the Acrobatics. It does a lot, and what I can do here is fire off an HP Ice and take this thing out. Now that Gliscor is down, that means I win the game because I have my Heracross in the back, which can take one hit from the Jolteon easily, and I can knock it out from there and win the game. So I'm just going to play it safe. No reason for me to save differential, because if he double crit me with if he did something like he double crit my Heracross and I wasn't able to knock out his Jolteon with my Meloetta, then I would be in a pretty shit situation, and it would force me to click U-turn a couple times and essentially lose more differential than the 3-0 that I'm guaranteed right now. So I'm just going to drop into my Heracross, and I'm going to click Close Combat. He goes for the Volt Switch, showing he doesn't have T-Bolt, and I'm just going to fire off the CC, knock out this Jolteon, and we are going to take the 3-0 victory. So that was a very tense game. Playing against Dom is one of my biggest fears because I cannot really predict him either in his playing or in his planning. So I was really glad to get this win. This was one of my bigger worries of the season, and we are able to get a nice 3-0 victory. We're now 5-0 with a plus 13, which is good for first place by a pretty decent margin, though I do believe there's some 4-1 teams. And next up, we are going to be taking on a couple teams that aren't as superior, but still definitely going to be some competition. We're going to be playing Rufus next week, who has been having a really nice season. He's 3-2, so we're going to have to do a good prep and play to take him down. But we're looking to stay in first, hopefully keep an undefeated season, and win the league is always the goal. So hope you all enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.